The giveaway winner for the video where I talk about selling my collection has been selected. Check the description down below on how to claim your prize. What's going on, bagel lovers? Today I'm going to be going over my experience at the Atlanta Regional event that I just went to last weekend. It was a lot of fun, and we'll get into all my matches and my deck list and what I played against and all that good stuff. I'm also going to be giving away this Mimikyu promo from Paldean Fates. All you have to do to enter to win that is like, comment, and subscribe. What's going on, everybody? It's time for a little Atlanta Regional recap. I'm going to go through the matches that I played. On the screen right here is my deck list, and then also the deck list of all the people that I played. I started with 3 losses where most people would just drop at that point. But I was like, nah, I came here to play Pokemon. I'm gonna do it. And so I just kept playing. Like I said, most people would have just dropped because there's no way to make day 2 once you have 3 losses. But I didn't really care. I just wanted to play. So my first match was actually into a Goldango, the only Goldango I played all day, and I had like literally teched this deck out for a Goldango. Like that's what the Toad Scroll is in there for. Like if you watched my like deck profile video, this is the deck I played, this is the deck I had in that deck profile. I think I might have actually changed the Turo to a Jacques. That's what I did. And that did come in handy, like, you know, to get your Dracloaks out. But I definitely, you know, Thorns Dragapult, like Thorns had its moments. Especially like later on in the playing, I played against a Gardevoir match and pretty much just won right away because they couldn't use Gardevoir for anything. But my first match against Madison Shirts, they made day 2 and they were very good. I started everything. I almost won game 1 because I just kind of shut them down super hard, and then had Toad Scroll, had everything, and then I benched a Badoo. Because I was like, oh, I'll item lock them, and then, you know, they only have 1 card left. I'll just item lock them, and then they'll draw their card, and I'll win, whatever. And I didn't think about the fact that Monkey Dory can just KO Badoo. And I was like, I was at that point, it was 2 prizes to 3, so I would have won next turn. Would have just taken something out the next turn and won. But I benched the Badoo, and hey, Monkey Dory 30 damage off of another Pokemon onto my Badoo, knocking that out, and then they KO'd my active Dragapult, which Goldango does. Like every time. That's why the Goldango matchup is so hard. And so I ended up losing game 1, and then game 2, I just, you know, just lost. Because, yeah, Goldango does Goldango things. Yeah, and I think they were just targeting my Toad School at that point, because they were like, oh, this is the strategy. I'm just gonna do that. And, yeah, ended up not winning. The next against Richard Shoemaker, he was playing Dragapult and Dusknoir, and he just kind of like, you know, just Dusknoir'd all my stuff before I could set up, and that was kind of how first game 1 and 2 went. I think in game 2, there was an instance where like I had Toad Scroll on the bench, and I think he might have Night Stretchered, but I didn't catch it. And then at the end of the game, I was like, wait a second, you're only playing, he told me how many, you know, Dusknoirs he was playing. I was like, I'm only playing 2, and I was like, but I had Toad Scroll, like, how'd you get that other one out of the discard? He's like, oh, I Night Stretchered. And I was like, it's fine. Like, in that instance, it's like on me to like control the board state. Way too late for me to like call a judge. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, I mean, you would have beat me anyway. I just was like curious about that. And then, you know, it happens. It was, like I said, my fault for not catching it. And at that point, you're responsible for your board state. So, and like, if you don't catch a mistake like that, then it is what it is. The next game against Daryl Davidson, he actually went by Dakota. This is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met playing Pokemon. He was super chill, super cool dude. I can't remember where he was from, but like just one of the nicest people. It was so good to like play. Honestly, like the majority of the people I played against were like super nice. Everybody, I don't really have anything bad to say about any of them, really. The one person I played kind of made a weird comment at the end about how his deck was better than mine, even though we tied the game. I was kind of like, all right, whatever. But this dude, Dakota, super nice, super chill. I played Raging Bolt. First game was like, I think he ended up beating me both games, but they were like kind of stretched out and long. So it was like, all right, well, at least getting to play the game. And then at a certain point, I was like, it's fine, dude. Like I'm good. Like, and at that point, I was 0-3. So I was like, like most people will drop. I was like, no, I'm gonna keep playing. It's gonna be fun. And then he ended up beating me, and I think he ended up losing the next round, and then dropping. But then I played against Ella Gallagher. She was super nice. Played Raging Bolt again, back-to-back Raging Bolt matches. I was just like, come on. She was just, I think Thorns helped out in this because I just shut down all of her Teal Mask Ogre Pawns, and I don't think she was like ready for that. So I definitely got the advantage. I think I won the first game, then she won the second game, and then we like went into time on the third game, where she couldn't take 2 prizes because I only had single prizers. I kind of just like didn't bench anything or didn't evolve anything for the sake of her running out of time and not being able to knock me out, and then we tied the game. That's kind of like was the strategy going into that. Then the next round, actually my opponent never showed up. So when that happens, they have 5. If they're late to the table by the time everything starts, they have a 5-minute window to get there. If they get there, there can't be like a tie. So if it goes into time on the last game and it's like a tie, the win automatically goes to the person who was like at the table ready to go. But after 5 minutes, it's an automatic game loss. So the first game would go to me. And then so that in that instance, they would have to win. If they showed up more than 5 minutes late, they would have to win both games outright. It wouldn't be able to go into time because then I would win. Then after 10 minutes, so 2 5-minute periods, it's another game loss. So 2 losses means they lose the whole match, and then I win. Also, funny story, there was a lady playing right next to me. This exact same thing happened to her. So we ended up just playing a fun round after time was called and we got our wins and the judges took our slips. We just started playing, and she was playing the just a straight Hops Zacian build, which I thought was pretty sick. And she might have been playing Archaludon too. I cannot remember. She was playing Zacian, and Zacian isn't like a great matchup into Dragapult once I get the Dragapult set up. So that was a quick game. Went off to hang out, and then my next game, Justin Beam was playing Buff Turtles, which I thought was pretty cool. First game, he just bricked, couldn't get many Pokemon out. I ended up beating him then. Then the second game, he actually managed to get set up, and his deck was really good. He, Bouffalant with the Tropicos, pretty busted combo. So he won the second game, and then we went into time on the third game, and the same thing that I did the previous tie that I had, I did this game where I just only benched single prizers, and I'm like, hey, like, you only have 2 turns, or you only have 1 more turn left to take out 2 Pokemon. Like you have to get 2 prizes. Like you can't win and I can't win, so we're just gonna tie. And that's the dude that said, oh well, my deck's better than yours. I'm like, bro, we tied the game. Like you can't say your deck is better than mine. And that kind of made me mad. But overall, like he was a nice enough dude, so I like whatever. You can say what you want. Your deck probably was better, but you don't need to say it. Whatever. Keep that kind of stuff to yourself. Then I played a Gardevoir. I played Jeffrey Stevens. He was playing Guardy. What was his Guardy? He think he was just playing like a regular Guardy build. Munkidori, Gardevoir, Secret Box, I think. And I just started Thorns both games. Luckily, and I just like, he couldn't accelerate energy, so I just used Thorns, taking out everything. I don't even think I benched a second Thorns until like mid-game, because then I would have to move the energy up. So yeah, those were pretty easy. And then after that, I played Michael Van Bargen, who was there with his kids, and he was playing. Super nice dude, again. Couldn't really be happier, like, playing against some of these people, man. They were so nice. He was playing Walls, which is another reason why I had this deck. So the Thorns tech came in handy, but it was like kind of a little too late. I just like didn't make it very far, or in the beginning. But I was like, I'll keep playing. Maybe I'll at least get more experience. So the Walls was pretty easy. I just started Thorns and powered up Thorns, and he kind of didn't realize that Melodic was weakened to Electric. So I was just one-shotting his Melodics, and that was pretty much it. Pretty quick games. super nice dude. Like I said, I was just really happy to actually come across 2 of the decks that like I teched for with this deck. The Gholdengo matchup in the beginning definitely could have gone a little bit better, but we'll get to that afterwards. And then my last game, Jessica Settle, I think. They were super nice. Playing Raging Bolt, another Raging Bolt deck. I ended up winning game 1. This is interesting. So I ended up winning game 1 pretty quickly, probably within like 15 minutes. And you get 50 minutes for each round. Game 2, I realized I prized all 3 of my Psychic Energies and 1 of my Lightning Energies. So I literally had like nothing to work with except for like 1 attack with an Iron Thorns, and I had to try and like boss something up and attack with Iron Thorns and then pull 1 of those energies off of my prizes. Like just 1 of the Psychic Energies would have changed the game completely. And so I just tried to work towards that. I think I said out loud like, oh, I prized all these energies, and they were like, well, do you want to just go to game 3? And I was like, no, like I don't want to go to game 3. I have 1 out. It's a stretch, but I have it, and I'm just gonna try and work towards that, and like I don't want to say stall, but like play like the Thorns and try and get that out and just play the game out and see where it goes. And if there is no way I can get it, then yeah, sure, I'll go to game 3. But at that point I was like, look, I have the game win on game 1, and I'm playing Raging Bolt, and I don't think just like scooping and going into another game against Raging Bolt is like ever a smart idea, because they can just get a KO on you super fast in the beginning of the game and like take the game. So I liked my odds. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna try and shut down her draw engine in Teal Mask and see how long it takes me to like work towards getting an attack off and trying to get a prize, which I never ended up doing. And then we ended up going into time, and at the very end of the game, I Iono'd them to 2, I think, and then all they needed was a boss to boss up my Thorns on the bench to then win the game, and they couldn't find it, so we ended up tying game 2, which means I won the round, which they were not super pumped on, but I wouldn't have been happy either had I have lost. So Jessica, I'm really sorry if you see this. I'm very sorry, but yeah, that's how it goes. I don't know. I kind of felt like, I don't know, I kind of felt like a jerk for stalling out that long, but like that's how the game's played. I don't know. It was a good experience in that game, especially just to try and play to your outs. I definitely needed I had stuff in my deck that I really didn't need. Like I definitely needed more energy. I needed more probably like just consistency cards. Like Iono would have been fine. Like I probably could have taken out some of the tools. Like I don't think I used what did I? Yeah, I don't think XP share was like super necessary. Like more energies would have been tight there. But yeah, I mean overall it was a fun deck to play. I feel like had I won that first round against the Gholdengo, I think I would have had a different kind of trajectory. But Madison was very good, and they made day 2, and they did pretty well overall. They got 8-3-2. So yeah, I'm happy with the way that the deck worked. I definitely think that it could have worked better, and I definitely think I could have played something different. But that being said, it was a good time, and Atlanta Regionals was fun. And if you guys are thinking about going to regional events, if you guys are thinking about even starting to play the Pokemon game, I would 100% recommend it, because it's definitely a good time. And I'm looking forward to playing in the next one that I sign up for. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you want to enter in to win this Mimikyu promo from the Paldean Fates ETB, just leave a comment down below and let me know if you guys played in Atlanta, if you guys are playing the card game, and what you guys want to see in the future of stuff like this, because I'm definitely going to do more tournaments, and I'll definitely do more like recaps of tournaments and more like deck profile videos, and kind of just lean more into that kind of stuff. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and you could have a chance to win this card. Anyway, I'll catch you guys all in the next one.